The glass we often encounter in our daily lives can be pieces of art. Iberian ham comes in various forms, classified by different regions and grades. How do we distinguish them? Wearing eco-friendly sneakers, embrace a fashion trend while saying no to environmental pollution. Glass is ubiquitous in our lives. From wine bottles to construction and decoration items, all these are made with these translucent, exquisite materials. And yet, glass can also be works of art. The glassworks in front of us are brilliantly transparent and filled with a rich array of colors. They represent not only the artistic vision of the creators, but also embody their experiences and dedication. Utilizing the distinctive qualities of glass, Evelyn skillfully brings forth an assortment of art pieces in different forms. Hi Evelyn, I know that you started off your career as an accountant, so what kick-started off your journey into glass art?
That originated when I was small. I was really interested in it because my dad, he himself is an artist.
Oh, is that right?
And he's so well in his artistic pursuit. He has an art school in Hong Kong.
Oh.
So I got inspired and I learned a lot of art. When I about to enter universities, I was talking to my dad. I would like to go into fine art as my major. And my dad says, no, you would want to pursue something as a Chinese parent, right? Something that you can ensure that you got a living.
Why, he owns an art school.
I know. So anyway, I went into business school and become an accountant. After I got retired in 2021, I decided to pursue my 2010 mission, entering into this glass factory, kind of promoting the glass and get into the glass manufacturing, design, and all this. So that starts.
Pursuing your dream.
Yes, that's exactly the case.
But what was the thing that drew you to glass art?
Because of the beauty and the unknown of the color and the combinations of chemistry, equipment, physics, and artwork and design into forming an object. This kind of mystery and unknown is so interesting and intriguing for myself, so I decided to get into it.
Glass art come in a wide variety of forms. They might seem simple at first, but they hold countless possibilities within. With a touch of creativity, these fun and fascinating glass items can exhibit endless vitality, presenting one-of-kind appearances and creating surprising effects. Could you share with us if there are any kind of themes or topics that you would explore when creating your glass art?
I can do one or two by seeing specific objects, like the two sets that are right in front of us.
Oh, yes.
This meteorite vase, for example, it is really inspired by nature. And when you see the color and the patterns, it has silver represent cloud, blue or turquoise represent ocean,
Right.
and the silver milk, meaning the brownish kind of color, represents sand and soil. And the dark brown kind of represent mountain.
I see.
So when you see these specific ways, you will see nature. You use your imaginations to look at things. Different angle would represent different picture.
Can I
see
touch
different things. Sure.
Wow, I love it. Yeah, you're right. Every angle is very different.
Yes. When I created this piece, I see nature as a start, and also the form. It's not round, it's not oval specific, it's like an egg, right?
Yeah.
And also, I kind of cut this top into showcase this is nothing but glass. It's from glass, but of different color, different combinations will show this beautiful natural piece.
What about this one? I really love this one. The clarity in the glass is spectacular.
The name of this set is called Music Around the World.
Music around the world, I see.
So the world is a bowl like this one, right? It's a round bowl representing the earth.
Right.
And even it's a turquoise in color. It's a blue, it has brown, it has white, it has dark blue and all this. The earth is all combined with these different colors. And the musical notes are around the world. The beauty of this piece, I think, is based on the clarity of the clear glass. It has clear to the extent where it's kind of transparent without any impurity in it. So when people look at these particular pieces, it's very pleasing to the eye.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it carries meanings.
Yes. Glass as a vessel carrying the souls and creativity of artists can serve both as a decorative element for homes and interiors as a medium for expressing artistic imagination. In recent years, the precision and artistry of glass craftsmanship have been increasingly stepping into the stage of art, radiating a unique brilliance in the field. So what is next for the business?
My mission is really to have an art gallery. In the US, they have this museum, Corning Museum of Glass,
Yes.
that has collected a lot of these beautiful art glasses from glass artists all over the world. But there is not such a museum in Hong Kong.
Right, yeah.
So my mission is to really open one where we have collections of all these glass artists, showcase their works to people in Hong Kong and to people in China in particular.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Another mission of mine is to have transformed glass into wearable art glass jewelry.
Right,
Like those here.
Yes.
So you can see a few pieces to have started with color, with glasses, fuse them together to cut into pieces that are suitable for wearing.
I think they're beautiful, honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what inspired this?
It's really because I was starting into the art glass, first in blowing. And as I get older, the physical toll would not enable myself to continue into this blowing endeavor.
Yes.
So I said, what would be the next if I were to continue with the glass? So I decided, well, maybe a smaller pieces, fusing glass, like what we've seen here, might be a possibility. So that triggered myself to design art glass,
Right.
design art glass into a wearable jewelry products.
When it comes to Spanish cuisine, there are so many delicacies, but if I had to pick one signature item, it would probably be Spanish ham.
But there are so many different Spanish hams across the board. So how do we differentiate between what regions they're from, how long they're cared for, and what grade they're in? Iberico ham is the most popular among Spanish ham. Renowned for its smooth, melting texture and rich taste, Iberico ham is phenomenal when savored alone or even paired with other ingredients.
Hi, Yuna!
Hi.
So I understand you're a ham specialist. Could you tell us more about the different types of ham from Spain?
Sure. So there's Serrano ham and Iberico. So Serrano is made from the white pigs, whereas for Iberico are from the Iberico breed, the black ones. So that's how you can differentiate them. And usually for Iberico are the one they're really looking for because there's different grading for it as well.
Oh, so how does the grading process go?
So actually there's 4 types of grading system. We start from the top. The best, it will be in the black tag, and it's called Iberico de Bellota, which means they're fed with acorns. And we have the red tag, but they are actually 75% Iberico breed, crossbred, and acorn fed as well. And you have another which is grain-fed Iberico, 50%, but they are mostly fed on grain, cereal. But the good thing about it is they get to free range and have some leftovers acorn. Lastly, you get a white tag, which is intensive farming pigs, and then they get mostly just grain, cereal, other stuff without any acorn feeding.
Is it like less fattier if it's crossbred?
Actually, if it's a crossbred version, you get less gaminess from it because it dilutes the flavor of the Iberico, which is slightly closer to, wild boar, the gaminess.
Yeah. That's right.
So now you can take a little sip of the sherry wine first. So it should be a little sweet to the
You
nose.
can smell it's very sweet.
So after getting a sip of that, you can actually try the Iberico ham.
Oh wow, that's strong.
So it's actually aged for 24 years in the oak barrel.
Cherry wine.
So that is why it gets a very strong aroma. It's more pungent.
It melts in your mouth, the fattiness.
Yes, that's the quality from Bellota Great Iberico.
It's actually very sweet.
Yes, that's
And
right.
I think because of the melt in your mouth fat, it makes it very juicy.
Yes. And then I love how the sherry wine also complements the ham itself because
It's like
the wine.
savory and like sweet,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. The sherry wine is a little acidic, so it cuts through the fattiness of the ham.
So now we're gonna taste the sherry wine with A4 cut, and we're tasting Amontillado Perry. There you go, the one in the middle. So this one is aged for 22 years, and it's much more drier compared to the first one.
It still smells very sweet though.
Yes.
I think the alcohol content is a little bit less than the 24 years, so it's a little bit more acceptable.
This has got a very fatty rim.
So that is why a drier sherry
Cheers.
wine can help
Cheers.
to cut through the oiliness as well. But this part is much more fruitier.
There's definitely more meat content in this cut, so there's a lot more saltiness and taste a lot of the gaminess as well.
Because this part is actually at the lowest of the Iberico ham, which is much more moisturized with all the oil, the water when it was hung in the cellar. That's the lower part of the ham leg.
I can taste that fruitiness you were talking about. It's also richer in meat flavor. I agree.
Yeah.
Now we're tasting 8-3, which is one of the leanest part from the Iberico ham, this part, and it's much more meaty. It's chewier, you get stronger flavor as well, and we are pairing it with the Solera Fina, which is one of the lightest that we have for today. It's only aged for 7 years.
It smells
light,
less
very
sweet,
light, yeah.
actually.
That's
significantly less sweet.
It's definitely a lighter version of the previous two, and it's very acceptable, especially for people who don't drink a lot.
Yeah, so it's my favorite. You can definitely feel the chew already.
Yep. It's a little bit tougher than the rest, and there's more meat. So for people who don't really like fatty, I think this is a very good option.
I actually like the chewiness.
And actually you get a better aftertaste, a lingering flavor, and it'll last longer.
Eating Iberico ham alone allows you to try the most authentic flavor of the ham itself. But in fact, paired with different ingredients, it can bring endless recipes. Iberico ham pretty much goes with everything.
Welcome to the Iberico Bar. So today we prepared a few creative pairing dishes, which was made with Iberico ham or Iberico meat as well. So this one is actually a layer of the milk foam infused with Iberico ham, and then you got a second layer, which is the white asparagus on the side, Iberico ham slices. So it's also a tartare made by sardines, and there's some onions, some green apples to give some crunch and texture. Enjoy.
I'm quite surprised how the sardines really complement the Iberico ham. Like they complement each other, right?
The sardine, the texture is a little bit different than the ham, but at the same time, both of them are salty. So it gives a little bit of texture like you mentioned. And I really like that you guys use white asparagus and the milk foam because both of it is really refreshing.
It's lighter, right?
Exactly, yeah. While
So
the
it
sardine-
balances it out.
Exactly.
So now we have the Iberico pork pluma, which is one of the best cut you could get from a pork. So you get like char siu on the top, and then it's actually clay pot rice at the bottom.
Wow.
Made with Iberico chorizo, salami, and the morcilla.
Wow.
Sounds so flavorful. I must say I've had a lot of clay pot rices, but I've never had Iberico pork char siu clay pot rice. And I love that you guys use like the crispy parts, the fan siu, to actually pair it with the char siu. It's got that different kind of texture. The char siu is like right amount of sweetness, and you also got that trout roe, which kind of like adds that kind of
A little bit of a surprise, an explosion. Also another texture as well. I love that the pork itself is very tender, very juicy, and it's like the traditional char siu that we have. But on top of that, you guys added the trout roe, and then also the clay pot rice is also done a little bit different. So it has the Asian aspect to it, but twisted in a little way.
That's right. So today you can actually try this pairing. It's the young Rioja Pies Negros made from Tempranillo grape. So it's very fruity, silky and smooth as well. It actually goes really well with the char siu because it brings out some sweetness, some saltiness. It's gonna pair so well together.
Let's give it a try.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Let's go.
When was the last time you purchased clothes and shoes? Last year, last month, or perhaps yesterday? Fast fashion has taken the world by storm, and we are purchasing things ever more frequently. But did you know that the fashion industry is actually the world's second largest contributor to environmental pollution? In recent years, global environmental pollution has worsened, prompting many fashion brands to embrace sustainable development in an effort to alleviate the burden that the Earth has long been carrying. Vegan leather, in particular, has showcased the allure of sustainable fashion by utilizing renewable materials. So was there a vision or philosophy you had in mind when you started this company?
So the DNA of our company is very much on circularity, sustainability, and transparency. All our materials are sourced sustainably using either upcycled, recycled, or natural materials, trying to reduce the impact we have on our planet one step at a time.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting because a lot of people have this preconception that plant-based materials are quite fragile. Does that affect the durability of your products?
That's a great question because honestly, when we started, there were very little options in terms of upcycled materials.
Yeah.
But now the space has just evolved dramatically. And the tests that we've been doing in labs, such as abrasion tests, durability tests, it's on par, if not even better, than virgin leather.
Wow, I see. So could you share with us some challenges you face when starting a brand?
There's a lot. I don't even know where to start. But first is, I guess, the consumers' awareness on sustainable fashion. It takes a lot of effort for us to educate consumers on, why things are made differently. Why do we recycle products instead of using things either fossil fueled or, really wastefully? The second part is actually production. A lot of the suppliers or our factories are not familiar with the new materials, and hence, with the small quantities and new materials, they probably don't even bother taking our orders.
Plant-based leather is ushering in a new fashion trend, but it's no longer limited to just cacti and pineapples. Even apple waste can now be transformed into synthetic leather, combining creativity with environmental sustainability. So what might be the main differences between, say, conventional leather, plant-based leather, and recycled leather?
honestly, with your naked eye, you probably can't even tell these are repurposed leather.
Yeah.
And they actually feel just like leather, if not even lighter.
Can I try?
Of course.
Oh,
Super
I
light,
see.
isn't it?
Very light indeed. And then
Yeah.
you qualitatively can't tell that this is at all plant-based or recycled. It feels entirely like cow's hide leather.
Absolutely. In fact, it's even lighter and it's more durable and more abrasive than virgin leather.
So what might be the difference between plant-based and then recycled leather? Like, is there a particular kind of design style you have to take with recycled leather compared to plant-based?
That's a great question because the properties are different, but the way we recycle the leathers are very similar.
Okay.
I have here with me the recycled leather process. We take leather trimmings from factory and tannery floors, and that's a lot of trimmings. These were destined for the landfills. So we rescue them and we grind them into little fibers. These are leather fibers here, and the bottom part is recycled plastic fibers.
Okay, so you have to actually add some plastics into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have about 50% of recycled leather and 20%-ish. So we can't have 100% recycled leather or apple waste. It's just not durable enough.
Right.
You need to add other elements into it. And then that's where the magic happens. That's how we transform waste into recycled leather or plant-based leather.
Right, I see. And does that affect the design?
Well, it doesn't, but we have to work on, which part do we use what material, because again, this is very new to our factories. The way they glue, the way they stitch, it just is not the same as the traditional material. So it takes a lot more testing and trials for us to get this right.
Right. Well, where do you see this sustainability industry going in Hong Kong? And what do you think people should do to live their lives sustainably?
That's a really hard question, but you know what? The trend is there. We've seen big brands, small brands going in the same direction. Without ESG, you're not even going to survive, right?
Yeah.
And in terms of living sustainably, I always tell people it has to be a lifestyle. It can't just be, I am buying recycled shoes and that makes me, a very green person. It has to be a conscious lifestyle, and fashion is just a small part of it.
Thank you very much for your time, Natalie.
Thank you so much for having me today. I'd love to see you in our shoes. Maybe you can try them on later.
Yeah, absolutely.